Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday the 27th of September. But first, a quick update. If you're interested in placing the AI football bet, please ensure that you place the certs bet with a bookmaker that pays out when your team goes 2 goals clear. It makes a huge difference. I have used Bet365. So let me get into the horse racing now. So I'm going to get straight into it. 10 pence each way, lucky 63. The first selection is Treasure Time in the 340 at Newmarket, 14 to 1, which is the Cambridgeshire. So last year, I had a horse called Mr. King. It ran an absolute cracker, but there was a downpour before the race, and it favoured the other side. Normally, it favours, I do believe, the near side, which is high numbers. I may be wrong, but I've gone for a high numbered horse. I just think William Haggis, Tom Marquand, for a horse that's been brought out towards the back end of the year. I think it's only had 3 runs so far. I think it's got every chance. There are some fancied horses, and I wouldn't put you off any of them that are drawn high. I fancied Fifth Column. I thought that had got a chance. I do believe Jack Shannon had got a chance with one of his. The Shannons always seem to have a runner in this race. But yeah, I do fancy Treasure Time, which is trained by William Haggis. The next selection is Always Glamorous. It's in the 2 at Haydock. I do like horses with loads of speed when it's slightly on the slower side because they can be very hard to peg back. This horse went off like the absolute clappers last time and just got pegged back, but it didn't fall in a ditch. It kept on going right through to the line, and I think it could be very hard to peg back given the same tactics or similar tactics. The next selection is Top Warrior in the 240 at Haydock. This ran on heavy ground at Goodwood last time, and it's a bit in and out. But what I must say is, I like the fact that how well it stayed onto the line. It said took keen hold, and on heavy ground at Goodwood, you would expect this horse to fade. I think if it can settle a little bit better on this slightly better ground, it could be another one over a sprint trip that could be very hard to peg back. It won't lead, but I'm expecting it to be up there, and it could be, like I said, could be hard to reel back. The next selection is La Trinidad in the 315 at Haydock. Well, if Flat Cat Callum was tipping, this would probably be in his selections. I say probably, can't say for definite. I've left the price because it's 14s, and I think it should be bigger than that. I think it's contested some better races and it's ran okay at times, but I do think this race isn't that strong, and I think this horse could pop up at an okay price. Roger Fell is doing pretty well at the moment, is quite in form. The next selection is an interesting one. It's called Lipstick Tracers in the 330 at Market Raisin. By the way, I have placed these bets. I just clicked retain selection so I could show you. This is the cleanest way of showing you. Bet365 is spread out through the screen. So Lipstick Tracers in the 330 at Market Raisin. This horse has actually achieved the same racing post ratings as the favourite um, for the National Hunt Flat. I think it's the first 5 or 6 in the betting have never jumped a hurdle. This horse has shown okay-ish form. Um, Last time, I'm not sure whether it stayed. It probably did, but I think it just ran poorly at Sedgefield. Sedgefield's an awful track when it comes to. It, I think it can be at times a horses for courses course because it's very undulating, and that downhill stretch is really. I think it's really uncomfortable sometimes when they come flying down there. Well, I think it didn't really enjoy itself, and it also stepped up by half a mile that day. I do believe it's dropping back in trip, but the fact that it's ran twice over hurdles, the problem is this third time they're running over hurdles, it might just be for a handicap mark. I'm taking that risk because it's got Brian Hughes back on board, who rode it the time before when it ran its better race. I think, I think honestly, don't get me wrong, there could be some classier horses in the race, but I just think experience over hurdles is absolutely huge because it's all right if they're bred to jump a fence, but they're not always the same jumping hurdles. They come into their own jumping fences, and I think this horse could be a little bit more of a hurdle horse now than some of the others. And I just think it's currently 14s again, and I've actually clicked SP because I think it should, or it could, and it should be bigger. This next horse is very interesting. It's called Crookbarrow in the 5 past 4 at Market Raisin. This horse is the first time over chase fences. All its running has been over hurdles, but it did have a spring campaign over the point-to-point circuit, possibly learning it how to jump. Well, this horse, in my opinion, on its last run, it would have absolutely hated the conditions, as in that, and not so much the going, but how it was ridden and the course it went, the course it was ridden at. Sorry, the course it ran at, and the trip. So it was held up at Bangor over 2 mile, 3.5 furlong. If you go back to the back end of last year, it was running over staying trips. I think that was just basically to get a run into it. Something it wouldn't have wanted. It wanted the run, but it wouldn't have wanted the conditions. It probably would have been taken off its feet, but it actually ran a decent race in the end, full of promise. I think it's crying out for that step up in trip. If this horse can jump well, this could be a right, well, I say I don't want to get too carried away. A very well handicapped horse that is that is that can jump well, that is thrown into this race off a handicap mark for chase fences based on hurdle ratings, and it could be extremely well handicapped in very shrewd connections. Don't get me wrong, it could jump like a pig and do absolutely nothing, but I'm prepared to take that risk. It's currently about 7-1, so it is fancied to a degree. But if the money could really be down on this horse, if like I won't say the word gets round, but if enough people like notice that how well handicapped this horse is, how it was inconvenienced by everything when it made its reappearance last time. It should strip much fitter. It should stay the 3 mile, no problem. I just think it's got a right chance. So those are all the selections for Saturday. Just a reminder, as I said, the certs bet, and I use that phrase lightly, it must be placed with a bookmaker that pays out on your football bet that goes 2 goals clear. So I'm all on. I'm £42.60 placed. Um, that's my addiction fed for the weekend. Let me know how you're getting on. So I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.